All right. So your very first step is import UI kit. And you could also import a foundation. And in the future development, there will be like AV foundation, and import even speech, right? Speech, and definitely some AI related here. So, but right now, UI kit is very handful so far. You can use all of the um, fundamental and the basic elements from UI kit here. Alrighty, there we go. And maybe I'm going to review this a little bit. So this is like all the UI view, UI table view, and even UI button and something else, right? Okay. And a foundation is basically the basic and the fundamental, fundam like the basic Swift data. And the AV foundation allows you, this basically allows you to open camera. All right. Okay. These you can definitely uh, create voice control, a voice control. All right. This is like you can talk to the app and allowing the app to react. All right, there we go. And the very first object is going to be class, right? So class A, or yes, I'm going to call that maybe class A, and then you can cast it as UI view controller, right? And the view to load, super here, view to load. All right, and the view to the background color can be any color you want. System yellow maybe. All right, so this is basically everything you need, right? Okay. Um, and then so later on, so you can definitely create something else such as probably user. All right. So user, you can define that to be codable. So codable is basically decodable and uncodable. Some people would love to just use uncodable, all right, uncodable, and comma and decodable, all right, decodable here. So this is absolutely no problem. And however, you could just use the codable, right? Which is a bit neater and cleaner, right? But you have to understand one thing for sure. Codable, all right? Codable is a combination of encodable and a decodable. But currently, I'll just use uncodable, okay, uncodable and a decodable. All right. And why we need that? So I'll be showing you that a bit quick in the future, maybe right now. So basically, all right, so um, app has like a front end and a back end, right? Okay. So what is a front end? So a front end is basically, this is a front end. It's like a user interface. So therefore, user is able to react or interact with this app, right? Okay. What is going to be a backend? A backend is you can request the data from a server, and a server will give you the result of the request. It's like you sending out a message. For instance, I'm going to use this example here, the backyard map mobile application right here. So, okay, I'm going to use a um, two accounts here. So I guess probably I'm going to log out and I'm going to maybe wait a second. Oh, this is exactly the same. Okay. Do I have another account? Maybe. Oh, maybe I would just do I use guest? Yes, I can use, but however, guest doesn't have the chat. Um, what do I do? All right, login. Never mind. I will just use the same account here, right? Okay, there we go. And then continue. Okay. All right, I guess I'm going to reopen it again real quick. Alrighty, so I have a two same account here, right? Oh, wait a minute. I think probably this is an older version. Okay, do I have a new version? Okay, never mind. I'll be using this one as example here. So for instance, I can send a message to myself, right? I guess no, this is a new version. This is another user here. So for instance, I can say probably like hello, what's up, right? What's up? All right, sent, right? There we go. So then well my current account sent a message to another users here, right? Okay. Because all of this is managed by a backend server. Okay. I really want to show you some result here. Let's see. Oh, never mind. Okay, so okay, there we go. Yeah, I think this is okay. All right, good. Therefore, every user, right? So for instance, this is one user, right? Okay. And this user, all right, is this user is having an email, name, bio, phone, username, organization, and a password, and all of these here, right? So therefore, a user is supposed to have something like a username, and that is going to be a string, right? And let's full name, right? Okay, that is going to be a string as well. And you can also turn that into uppercase N as well. And then like the phone, all right, phone number is going to be a string. And then, yes, we have username. And then let's organization or organization, right? That is going to be a string as well, right? And then password, right? Definitely you need a password. Password, okay, password is going to be a string, definitely. And then, well, then you can also define anything else. So definitely define more parameters. So parameters, right? Okay. And then, so whenever you finish this, you can define a initializer. So init, all right? And in it, we have all of these here. Okay, so it's basically whenever you declare these class, and you have to initialize all of these data, right? So these will prevent the data from being null or no data, right? Okay, so this is initialization. And if you study APCSA before, this is basically the constructor, right? Constructor, right? Constructor. This is in AP Stats, AP CSA. You'll be learning that in Java programming here. Well, actually, AP Stats, it makes a little sense if you implement the knowledge at real world mobile application development or software development. All right, there we go. And then you have a class here. And I can tell you in the real world scope, user can have more than these. It has to be more than that, right? So for instance, it can be like maybe a coordinate, right? So this is a coordinates. And then coordinates is going to be a little bit complex here. It is because, all right, so for instance, a user, for instance, posts something in the map, right? So the current location is at San Francisco, and I'm going to simply just um, demonstrate, yeah, Southern California, right? Southern California. And then, for instance, well, I guess last week I went to a downtown LA and I checked out these coffee shop. All right, and it shows the exact location. All right, it's a pretty good art district over here. I recommend everyone to go there, grab a coffee, and there are some good food over there as well. Okay. So, and then right here, this one is supposed to be a double and a double, right? Because a what? Because um a the what? The coordinate is supposed to be a 2D data, right? Okay. So, and do I actually put two double, right? No, I do not. Basically, this is supposed to be a array of that, right? And if you add one more parameters, all right, so the initialization will yell at you because I mean, hey, there's one missing here, right? So for that part, okay, pretty easy. So what you could do is simply just manually add it right here, coordinates. That is going to be a double, right? And then you put a question mark here, and then I also do the self period of coordinates. It's going to be coordinates, and then to solve the problem perfectly. All right, there we go. So, and then of course, if you define a chess game, right? So you can define a pawns, right? A pawns. Okay. P-A-W-N. Pound. Maybe just the pieces. P-I-E-C-E, right? Okay. A piece. And then you can define first one is going to be a row, right? So such as is that going to be a pawn or a king or queen, right? So the row can be a certain data type, right? But usually you can definitely use a string to represent, right? Okay. So class, well, since a piece, all right, like a stone or the pound, right? Well, we usually don't communicate through the backend, so therefore we usually don't encode or decode it, right? It can be just a simple class here. Okay. And then right, so you can also define the move rate, like what kind of move it can go. So the move can also be a string or something else, right? Okay. And then you also need to initialize all of those here, right? Okay. So for the move, I guess we have to define that in a specific perspective here. So class and a move here, right? Okay. And then we can say let a pawn, okay, pawn move to be a certain definitions here, right? These can be a string as well. Okay. And then right here, we also need to, but for that, do we actually need to initialize it? Probably we don't have to. Therefore, we can use a struct. If you use a struct, no initialization required. All right. So basically right here, no init required. So you don't have to initialize it right away. And then right here, you can turn that into move. You can turn that into move. Okay. That simply means you can actually you use your customized um, preference reference or like a class variables to fill out these data casting process. All right. And in it, then you have your absolutely whatever you define here, right? Okay. So the piece and a move and yes. Okay, there we go. So for Yufei, so you need something like that, like a user, okay? Because your project is a social media platform, right? So usually a social media platform requires a lease, right? Uh, uh, absolutely, right? Okay, so um, this is one example, right? So this is one example. You do need that the um the user class, right? And for these, it's basically like a game development, um, or maybe a little AI modules here, right? You need that. So for instance, a chess game, you can implement AI. Let the computer play with you, right? So that computer is an AI basically, but it's only designed for chess, not general purpose. All right, there we go. Good. Um, and then all right, and then you realize one thing for sure. So basically, you can definitely define something called post, right? Because I guess in the social media platform, you do need to post that something, right? So in the post, right? I guess you understand one thing. It has to be encodable and decodable as well, right? Decodable, right? And then you want to define like who sent it, right? Like a like author, right? Or owner. Okay, owner is going to be whom, right? Um, and you can also define like when, right? Like when. That simply is like a date of creation, right? Date of creation. So this is going to be a string as well. And well, definitely you can define like a num of likes, right? It's like, yes, it's accumulating how many likes. For these, you can use integer, definitely. Um, but eventually it's going to be a string, so I'll be just using string. And then, well, a lot of thing you can do, right? For the owner, right? So for the owner, as you can see right here, you can definitely turn that into user, right? Okay, like, okay, which user? And then it's going to be this user, right? Okay. And then definitely you need to use initialization to initiate everything, right? Okay, there we go. And then you have a user and you have a post, right? So now this is going to be the logic. Front end is basically, well, how you want this app to be look like, right? And uh, this is going to be the backbone, right? The DNA of the app. How would you like it to be like, right? Okay. So right now, so for instance, suppose this is a class, right? Or this app here. So definitely I need to create let a user, and that is going to be the big user here, right? Okay. So and this is basically a declaration of this is a declaration of of uh, of class. I'll just call that maybe a declaration of object, right? It is an object of class, and in um, you can call that the user one. All right. Okay. So or current user, right? But I would just use a user, lowercase u here. All right. This is nice and easy. Okay. So this is very nice and easy. And right here, so a class has no initializer. It is simply because I didn't initialize it, right? Okay. So there are several ways to solve this problem. The very first problem is I need to use a user here, right? And then I need to define all of these username here, all of these here, and I have to fill this out here. And then, for instance, this one, right? And then this one here. And I guess I would just do that. And then for this 0.0, and then problems, which problem is here? Okay, right here, fix that, and then everything's good. But however, as you can see right here, every time you have to, well, declare something, right? And you couldn't possibly just, okay, so I'm going to simply just have a objects here, right? And comment these and run this code here. Okay. And reload the data somewhere else, right? Okay. So therefore, for some reason, right? Okay. Um, Sometimes we have to redesign this one here. So well, actually, you can have an empty initializer that return this one. Let's see. Okay. This one. Initializer requires a body part, and I'm going to give you one of these. Return this one. Yeah, I guess I have to return these, but what if I remove that? Type of post doesn't have, wait a second. Why it does, yeah, why it, yeah, yeah, I still need these, right? Okay. So for this empty initializer, let's see, all right. Am I able to just initialize one of these here? And then self here, the username is going to be username, right? Then it's not because I have to initialize everything here, right? Okay, so this is usually not good. So in terms of that, you can turn that into struct, right? You turn that into struct, all right, and then definitely right here, you can simply just put a question mark here. Still that. The class A has no initializer and the store property user without initial, and then I need to fix it and then requires to be nil, and then it should be fine here. Now my question is, all right, what if I turn that into class and assign a nil pointers to it? It's still good, right? Yeah, definitely you can use this way. All right, you can definitely use this way. And there is, and usually we're going to have a method here. So this is basically, yeah, define data load data here, right? Okay. Load the data. So we want to fill out this user, all right? So for instance, I can actually, so this one is this, and this one, right? Yes, I can access this username, right? So this username, I can see that is maybe this is Michael, right? Michael, and then right here is this is a let declaration. It doesn't allow me to modify that later. So that's why I have a let declarations here, right? Okay. So therefore, okay. Uh, as this process, right? Okay. So we usually, all right. We usually what we really want is we want to initialize it right away. So for instance, username, full name, phone number, and all of these. Why this is you have to initialize it is because, okay, for instance, I'm going to log out, right? I'm going to log out. So as you can imagine here, so there is supposed to be another class. So this class is actually at where? This class is actually as the scene delegate here, right? So add a scene delegate, right? So right here, you need to create something like a user here as well, a user, and then you initialize everything here, and then you turn these classes class A, right? And then I'm going to just pass some data, sample data here. One, 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 one. And then this one, I'm going to have zero and a zero here, right? Okay. So and apparently, I also need to have let's A class, right? Equals class A. An A class, and I can modify this user by my user, right? Okay. But however, this is a let declaration, right? Therefore, what I need to do is here, I need to turn that into a var, and I simply just need to do what? So assign that to be question mark and then it should be fine. Because this one belongs to class A, right? This one belongs to class A, and I need these these variables to be assigned by a value from the backend. So it has to be right here, right? Because I pass this data here, and I create an address, right? So this is basically an instance. This is a class. Okay. And this is the class itself, right? I can definitely print it out. So this is this, and then run this code one more time. So, and this time around, I'll be printing out this class reference. Then you'll be seeing that real quick. All right, as you can see, this is the class A, right? This is a class A, and this is the memories uh address, right? Okay. And then I can go to where, and then I can go to the view controller or the February 28th again right here, and I can do what? So right here, I can also print the self, right? I can also print the self here at class. And in the scene delegate, I can also call that this is at scene, scene class, scene delegate, right? And run this code one more time. So let's see what is going on. So print, print. Okay, there we go. Let's see what is going on. All right, as we can see, so as scene delegate is the underscore 25 projects A, and it has this address here. So 0x10 143. This is 13340. As you can see, they're different, right? They're different. They're different. It is because this is a this is basically you assign this property, these variables at a different memory slot. This is a different memory slot. All right. Okay. Um, and right here. So, and the okay. But what if you do this? So print this, and right here. And what if you just print this? All right. Okay. Then let's see what is going on. Okay. So first off, we have at scene delegate class A class, right? So this is a D0, and we have 44 D0. And this is the class. And then we have a 4BD0. And then we have a different address here. So as you can see, these, that, and these, they are in different memory slots. It's like they are completely three different things, right? Okay. And then I'm going to have another things, which is this one's going to be, I'm going to print user. This is user at the class A, class A, and then this is user. All right. And then I'll be doing the same things at, all right. So I need this one here. This one's these. And then why don't I just assign that here? But I need a yes. Okay, so let's see what is going on here. Okay, there we go. So first off, as scene delegate, we have these two stuff here, and at a scene delegate, we can clearly see it is a nil, right? And the user at a class A is a nil as well, right? Okay. One reason is, all right, okay, so this one we have already assigned a value here, right? So this one is absolute has some value here, as you can see. So because this one is here, right? This one's here. But in February 20th, all right, this one's a nil. It has no nothing. Usually, all right, no nothing cause crash. All right. If it's nil, usually it's a crash. All right. Okay. Um, okay, so I want to probably just have more better. Okay, so this one, that's okay. Run this code one more time. Well, this is very important because uh, mobile app software can crash anytimes because of a null or nil pointer or something. All right, there we go. So we have two nils here, right? Okay. And then, so what we could do is we have a class A here, right? So what if we have a class, this one, period user, and we assign the user to it, right? And well, since we passed the root view controller is A, right? As you can see, this is not that. All right, this is not that, right? Okay. Because again, they are at different memory slots, right? They're at different memory slots. Okay. And then as you can see, so even though we assign this a class, all right, this is a class, right? And then we assign that, but in the at the same delegate of this one, but this one's still nil, right? This one's still nil because there's no such stuff here, right? Okay. Even though we have that here, and this one is also that. But what if I change that into a class here? I guess I can also delete that. It's now we have a data here, right? Okay. So this part is very important. This part is very important. So now I want everyone to understand, all right? So this is address one, and these are only these is address two. And in February 20th, this one is address. This is actually address number three. They're different. They're completely different stuff here. All right. So that simply means, all right, if you modify this one into a class, right? A with a constructor here. Well, even though it gives you exactly the same result, I mean, the front end is the same front end. However, these wouldn't pass the initial value from here to the view controller, right? So therefore, it carries a what? It carries a empty or null pointer all the way, and that is going to be a not good idea. It is because of what? It is because if it's a null, then it is going to be empty, and then it system crash, right? Okay, so this is it. So if I run this code one more time, this one's going to be working. It is because I use I use this instance pass the data, so then it's going to be fine, right? Okay. All right. And I can give you another example here. So for instance, I'm going to have a very easy like a letter label, letter LB label to the UI label right here, and label period the text. So the text is going to be user period, let's say maybe username, right? Okay. And I'll just view period. Okay. So for now on, I recommend everyone to use auto layout, right? So even though our auto layout is a bit, um, it's just a little bit complex here to implement, but I recommend. So and label period of top anchor constraints. So this is top view period of top anchor, and I want this one to be 10 and is active to be true, right? And then you can probably just copy this four times. And this one is going to be a leading anchor, and this is a leading anchor, and this one is the trailing anchor, and this one is going to be trailing anchor, but that is going to be negative. And I actually don't need a bottom anchor, so I want a label period height anchor constraint probably 30 is active, right? It's active to be true. And then I need to, well, I need to add it first, right? So view period add subview, and I need my label here. Do I? Yes, I think so. Yes, I added it first. And then I also need to compile this one first, right? Okay. And then I have all of this here. Okay. And then, so I'm going to all load the data here, or you can simply call that setup UI, setup UI. But actually, I load the data here, right? So definitely. And then let me run this code one more time. So let's see what is going on here. Okay. All right. As you can see, there's a little whatever the stuff here, right? Okay. And let's see. I think so probably this one's too low. I want this one's to be 100 here. And since there's just a one digit, right? So it's going to be pretty tiny small here, right? It's a one, apparently. But okay, so what if I turn that into this? I guess I will be only seeing the yellow screen without the letter, right? Okay. It is because how to say that? It's like I'm supposed to be going to downtown LA McDonald, right? But for some reason, my GPS directed me to Irvine, McDonald. It's McDonald. It looks the same, but it's not this. It's not the one, right? Okay, so I guess now it makes a bit more sense. There we go. All right, so therefore you have to pass the real or the data you really want here. So that's why we usually create a instance here and then pass the data here. So, and then you have one here. Hopefully it makes sense. All right, okay. And then you can also change the username to some larger scope, and then you can see the result a bit clearer, right? Okay. There we go. Good. And once again, so if I turn that into that, I can assure you there will be no data display on the board. The reason why is because they are different reference. They're different memory slot. Okay. Um, Makes sense. All right. Okay. There we go. Good. Does this make sense to everyone? Hello? Hello, Yufei?
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right, so for these, I guess I'm going to forward the code to the Google Docs, and I want you, both of you, to work on this. And I'll be uploading this video later. All right, then you can watch this again, again, again. All right, good.